Hello students, welcome back to Alpes English Institute, a classroom at your home. In this class, we are going to learn the second chapter of your textbook, First Flight. The title of this chapter is Nelson Mandela, Long Way to Freedom. This is an extract from Mr. Nelson Mandela's autobiography named Long Way to Freedom. Autobiography means life story of a person written by that person himself. Another term we can use instead of this is biography. Biography means life story of a person written by somebody else. Autobiography written by himself. Biography, a life story written by somebody else. In this chapter, he talks about his work from his childhood to the highest position of his country. Nelson Mandela, born on 18th July 1918 and died on 5th December 2013. He served as a president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the first black president of Africa, and his work to highest post remind us the freedom struggle and the victory of our nation on 15th August 1947. Nelson Mandela spent a lifetime fighting against apartheid and had to spend 30 years in prison. Apartheid means racial segregation or racial discrimination. Racial segregation or racial discrimination means treating people unequally on the basis of color, caste, religion, etc. After the 300 years of white rule in South Africa, they achieved their political freedom. Then the first democratic election was held in South Africa in 1994. In that first democratic election of South Africa's history, Nelson Mandela's African National Congress Party won 252 of the 400 seats, and he became the first black president of South Africa. This chapter tells us about Mandela's views about freedom. He also writes about his childhood, adolescence, and his journey as a freedom fighter, and his 30 years of imprisonment, etc. He also recollects the contributions of other freedom fighters in this book. Let's look into the lesson for the details. On 10th May 1994, the first democratic non-racial government was inaugurated. Inaugurated means started or opened officially. Before and during the inauguration ceremony, Nelson Mandela had been besieged by dignitaries and world leaders. Besieged means surrounded, and dignitaries means important official persons. So Nelson Mandela was before the inauguration ceremony and after. He was surrounded by world leaders and high officials. The inauguration ceremony took place in a sandstone amphitheater formed by the Union Building in Pretoria. Here we can see three proper nouns. First one is amphitheater. It is an open theater without roof made of sandstone. It is located in the premises of Union Building. It can provide accommodation to a large number of people. We also have in India such a sandstone buildings such as Rashtrapati Bhavan, Red Fort, etc. And they are used for swearing in ceremonies. Second proper noun we can see is Union Building. Union Building is the seat of the President and the government of South Africa. It is equivalent to our Parliament building. And third, the place name is given is Pretoria. Pretoria is the city where amphitheater and Union Building located or situated. More than 100 of years, Union Building had been the seat of white supremacy. Only white people were allowed to stay there and rule over other people. White supremacy means a racial superiority. Racial superiority means rule of one race over others. Here, rule of white people over black people. Now, this place look like a rainbow. Different colors and nations gathered together for the inauguration of the first democratic non-racial government. And let's see now some of the possible questions can be asked from this extract. Dear students, note this first two paragraphs, and this was an extract asked in CBSE 2015 board exams. So some of the questions I will mention here and note down and listen carefully. What happened on the inauguration? On the inauguration, South Africa's first ever democratic non-racial government was installed. That's the answer. Okay. Then second question, why was it called South Africa's first non-racial government? It was called South Africa's first non-racial government because first time a black was swearing in as the president of the country. And third question, possible question, where did the ceremonies take place? The ceremonies took place in the sandstone amphitheater formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. Okay, let's move further. Look into that next paragraph. On 10th May 1994, the lovely autumn day, Nelson Mandela went to share along with his daughter Sanani and other colleagues. And colleagues' names are given here. Mr. D. Clark, and he was sworn in as second deputy president. And then Mr. Thabo Mbeki, sworn in as first deputy president. Then finally Nelson Mandela sworn in as the president of South Africa, the first black president. On the lovely autumn day, a large number of world leaders gathered in South Africa to install South Africa's first democratic and non-racial government. It was like an autumn day, both literally and figuratively. It was literally an autumn day because it took place in the month of May. Figuratively, we can say it was a new beginning based on equality. Shortly, the old leaves of discrimination were replaced by the new leaves of equality. So, figuratively, it is rightly called as an autumn day in the history of South Africa. In his speech, he stated that it is a new age of liberty and equality. He says that he experienced an extraordinary human disaster for a long time. What is the meaning of extraordinary human disaster here? By mentioning it, he was referring to the practice of apartheid followed in South Africa. Apartheid means racial discrimination based on color, due to which the black suffered a lot. They were not allowed to demand freedom and did not had any rights. Mandela also thanked the international leaders for their presence in the inaugural ceremony. Because of their presence, the event could be considered as a common victory of the South African people for justice, peace, and human dignity. He promised the people of South Africa that they will be liberated from poverty, deprivations, suffering, and discrimination of all kinds. They will never experience the oppression of one by another, and all of them will enjoy equal rights and privileges. He also talks about political emancipation as a glorious human achievement. What is the meaning of political emancipation? Emancipation means freedom from restrictions. Let's see the possible questions from this paragraph. First one, who accompanied Nelson Mandela on the inauguration? Okay. Sanani. the daughter of Nelson Mandela, accompanied him on the inauguration. Second question, who took oath before Mandela? For what? Here you see, Mr. De Klerk sworn in as second deputy president, and then Mr. Thabo Mbeki sworn in as the first deputy president. Then thirdly, he sworn in as the first black president of South Africa. Okay, next question, possible question is, okay, why 10th May is considered as an autumn day? So as I said earlier, the 10th May was considered as an autumn day because it was a new beginning based on equality. In short, the old leaves of discrimination were replaced by the new leaves of equality. So, it was rightly called as an autumn day. Okay. Then we can say, what does he mean by an extraordinary human disaster and a glorious human achievement? So, he meant by an extraordinary human disaster was the practice of apartheid followed in South Africa. And glorious human achievement, he meant the political emancipation. In other words, political emancipation he considered as a glorious human achievement. And next question is, why does Mandela thank the international leaders? Okay. He thanked international leaders for their presence in the inaugural ceremony. Because of their presence, he says, the event could be considered as a common victory of the South African people for justice, peace and human dignity. And the final question we can ask is, what was the promise Mandela made to his people? Mandela promised his people that they will be liberated from poverty, deprivations, suffering and discrimination of all kinds. They will never experience the oppression of one by another, and all of them will enjoy equal rights and privileges. This was the promise he had given to his people. And this whole paragraph as total we can ask like this, who said it and when he said it? Okay, Nelson Mandela, it was said by Nelson Mandela on the occasion of the inauguration of first democratic non-racial government. Okay, let's move further. Here, South African Army had a spectacular array. Array here means, spectacular array means an impressive display. Okay, South African Army had an impressive display of their strength and their loyalty to the democracy. Their loyalty towards a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. The army and police heads saluted him and pledged their loyalty. Okay. Some time ago, they were against him and they would have arrested him. But now, they realized that he was the elected president of South Africa. So they saluted him now. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets leave the black, red, green, blue and gold spokes. Finally, a chevron of Impala jets. Chevron means V patterned or shaped. So V patterned Impala jets left behind the smoke of black, red, green, blue and gold. These different colors of smoke symbolizing the new flag of South Africa. It symbolizes the new flag of South Africa. And the possible question from this paragraph are, first one we can ask like this, what did the highest generals do in the event? The highest general of defense and police saluted Mandela and pledged their loyalty to him. Okay. Then next one, what did the smoke trail of Impala jets symbolizes? What did the smoke trail of Impala jets symbolizes? Okay, the smoke trail Impala jets symbolize the new national flag of South Africa. How was the attitudes of the generals before and after the freedom? Okay, that is another question. How was the attitudes of the generals before and after the freedom? Before the freedom, they oppressed the freedom fighters and arrested them as anti-national. And they would have arrested Nelson Mandela also. But now, after the freedom, they realized that he was the elected president of South Africa and they saluted him. Okay, let's move to the next paragraph. They sang two national anthems, one of the blacks and other of the white, to end racial prejudice. It was done to signify equality of both the races. White sang Nkosi Sikeleli Afrika. Their national anthem's name is Nkosi Sikeleli Afrika. That means Lord bless Africa. And black sang Die Stem, means the voice. Okay. The question from this passage is, why were two national anthems sang? Answer, we can say like this: two national anthems, one of the blacks and other of the whites, were sung to end racial prejudice. It was done to signify equality of both races. Okay, let's move further. In this paragraph, he described two systems of government in his country. He says that in the first decade of the 20th century, the white-skinned people of South Africa entered their own differences. Then they started a system of racial domination against the black people. The system they created formed the basis of a worse and inhuman societies of the world had ever known. But the final decade of the 20th century, the previous system had been removed forever. It had been replaced by one that accepted the rights and freedom of all people without any discriminations. The question can be asked from this passage is, what happened after Anglo-Boer War? Anglo-Boer War means, Anglo means the British people, and Boer means South African, natives of South Africans who migrated from Netherlands. So these people had a constant struggle during 1899 to 1902. So after this war, Anglo people, means British people, had domination over the native South Africans, and they started a system of racial discrimination against the black people. The system they created formed the basis of the worst and inhuman societies of the world had ever known. Okay. The second question we can ask here is, what was the structure of the new government? The structure of the new government was based on the rights and freedom of all people without any discriminations. Okay. Third question, how Mandela described the system of government in his country in first and final decade of 20th century. That is that we have discussed already. That was in the 20th century, first decade, the white-skinned people of South Africa under their ended their own differences, and now they focus on black people. They started a system of racial discrimination against the black people, and they created a system that formed the basis of the worst and inhuman societies of the world had ever known. But the final decade of the 20th century, the previous system had been removed forever. It had been replaced by one that accepted the right and freedom of all people without any discrimination. The same thing is a repetition, and you can easily remember these sentences. Okay, the great sacrifices of thousands of his people who laid their life for the freedom. He thought of himself as the sum of all those people who sacrificed their life before him. He was pained and felt sorry because he could not thank them. He then recalled great freedom fighters like Thomas, Walter, Sisula, etc. Many freedom fighters' names he gives in this book, so that you can read it in your textbook with and their pictures also as given in the book. He described that the policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in the country and its people. And also he stated that the people of his nation are the greatest wealth than the rich minerals and gems that lie beneath the soil of his country. So he think that people are the greatest wealth of the country than anything else. Okay, and let's see the possible questions. And first one, what did the policy of apartheid create? That is, the policy of apartheid created a long-lasting wound in the country and its people. It was apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in the country and its people. Okay, next question. According to Mandela, what is the greatest wealth? He says the greatest wealth in the country is its people. Okay, that's the answer for that. In the next paragraph, he says he learned the meaning of courage from the great freedom fighters, and says courage means not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it, or the victory over it. Also says, brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Okay, that was his concept about courage and braveness. Okay, and again we will repeat as a possible question: what is courage and what is braveness according to Nelson Mandela? Okay, says courage means it's not the absence of fear, but the victory over fear. And braveness, he says that brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Okay, that was his concept about braveness and courage. And see the next paragraph. In the next paragraph, Mandela says that love is natural, but hate is not natural. The feeling of love comes to our heart naturally. On the other hand, we have to learn how to hate, as these feelings does not develop by itself. He also says that man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Means goodness of the people will be remain in their heart, in their life forever. And sometimes it may be hidden for a period of time due to different circumstances, but it cannot be totally extinguished or destroyed. Goodness flows through the human hearts constantly, and it may be stopped for a while by the shadow of the selfishness, but it can never be removed completely. Okay, that's what he says about goodness. And the possible question also we can see from this passage are: explain the statement, man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but not extinguished. That means goodness is a quality which a human heart has achieved naturally, and it may be stopped for a while due to different circumstances, but it cannot be removed completely. That is the answer for that question. And next question, which does he think is natural to love or to hate? Which does he think is natural, to love or to hate? So here is, he thinks that love is natural and hate is not natural. Okay, that's what we can find from this paragraph. Okay, so we will continue the lessons, next paragraph and remaining paragraph in the next videos. So wait for the part 2 of the second chapter. Thank you. If you have not yet subscribed the channel, kindly subscribe it and click on the bell icon for the upcoming videos. Thank you.